Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Aries placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Aries, to get started, I have a few channeled messages that I'm going to read from my notes. So the first energy that I was getting for you is that of a bruise. So what was coming through with that is that there was something like a burden was placed on you and now it's been removed. And it's leaving behind a bruise, which is a good thing because it means that there's healing, but it's also giving me this energy of like something that feels a bit tender or something that feels a bit sensitive. This was also being tied to the new moon in Aries that we just had. And Chiron is also in Aries. So there's this energy of like the wounded warrior, wounded healer kind of energy coming through. And a bit more information about the burden is that I don't think that you see it as a burden or that it was something that you, for example, got used to over time. And it is giving me this energy of like, it has been or will be, or it's in the process of being removed from you in whatever way. And it's only when it's gone do you realize that it was harming you in some way. And what I'm also getting with this is that it feels like you were carrying another person's pain or another person's wounding. I don't know if it's like, it could be something where it's like this person, whoever it is, again, it feels like somebody that you care about. It's not like some random or someone toxic or anything. It is feeling like someone that you care about. So maybe for you, carrying this wound or this pain for someone else wasn't what you would call a burden in that way. Like, because it's like you're happy to help someone that you care about or whatever. But the truth is that it was leaving a mark, for lack of a better way of describing this. And I feel like what's happening for you, Aries, is that this person, whoever it is, may be going through a realization that you were carrying this wound or this pain for them, and that it was weighing you down in some way. I do feel like somebody is realizing this. And again, Aries, these are general readings, so feel free to flip the energies if it's not resonating for you. But it feels kind of like this other person is removing part of their energy from you in order to relieve you of this quote unquote burden that I feel like they were maybe unfairly or like disproportionately putting on you, or like, and it could be something like like one way in what, like one scenario that this could play out is that they were putting like, I don't know, making you feel responsible for something that is not your responsibility, right? Like it could be that. It doesn't have to be though. It could also be something where it's like, depending on you in certain ways where it's like they really should be able to do this by themselves, like that kind of thing. I don't know how that's going to play out specifically for you. But anyways, I do feel like in some way this person is recognizing that putting this energy on you or asking you to do this was actually harming you in some way, or dampening your energy or weighing you down, and so they've removed that from you is how it's coming through. I do feel like in the process it's also freeing up your energy, but there is a little bit of an adjustment period for you, Aries. I just got this sort of like a humorous image from The Office where there's a prank that Jim plays on Dwight. I don't think this is a prank, Aries. It's just coming through as a metaphor for the energy, like how it might feel for you, where it's like Jim takes like pennies or something and he puts a little bit of weight into Dwight's phone. Like at the end of his phone, he just puts in like a coin or something, like one per day. So gradually Dwight adjusts to this weight. And I'm seeing you as Dwight today, Aries. Again, it's not in terms of like a prank or like someone's actively working against you. It's nothing like that. It's just coming through as the energy of like you gradually got used to this weight is how it's coming through. You adjusted to this weight, but it feels like someone else's pain. You adjusted to this person's pain is how it's coming through. And then all of a sudden, Jim removes the coins from the end of the phone. And what happens is that Dwight, when he picks up his phone, because he got used to the weight, it like was so light all of a sudden that he like hits himself in the face. Like that's the metaphor that's coming through for you, Aries, where you might feel like suddenly something has been removed, something heavy has been removed from you, and it's this like lightweight energy all of a sudden that maybe perhaps catches you by surprise or that kind of thing. So it's not a bad thing again, but there may be sort of like unexpected consequences of like suddenly this weight is lifted, and there may be a bit of like a adjustment period is just what's going through with that. And then just as I was about to hit the record button, I was getting this message of a winning combination for you, Aries. So I don't know what that is referring to, but that's what I was hearing. A winning combination. It could also have something to do with like your creativity, whatever this is, like a weight being removed or like some sort of restriction being removed from your creativity as well. Because there's a lot of things happening in Aries right now. I know the sun is now in Taurus, but Saturn, I believe, is in Aries. Chiron, we just passed the new moon. Mercury's in Aries. Like a lot of things in Aries. I'm probably missing some stuff. So I feel, but I'm getting this strong like Saturn energy where actually like a restriction is being lifted. I also feel like there's something here where, just with that example of like Dwight and Jim and the phone, where it's like you may have actually gotten stronger in something. You may have actually, like it's kind of coming through as being like whatever this burden was that you were carrying, developed your strength. It made you stronger. So there is also something here where it's like because of your strength, whatever it is that you're going into next may actually not feel easy, but like something like that where it's not as hard as you thought it was or something like that. You've been training for this or whatever, like this, the burden that you have been carrying, whatever it is, has made you stronger, is just how I'm gonna leave it. Okay. Could I get a card for Aries, please? Okay. Interesting. Uranus and coagulation. And Uranus is, I don't know if it has moved into Gemini yet or it's still in Taurus at the moment, but I do think we're about to move into Gemini at the time that I'm filming this. And you have blood at the bottom of the deck. And so this coagulation card is coming through with this energy of Taurus in terms of like stable earth energy, right? Like fixed earth energy. Uranus talks about change and transformation, like sudden change, sudden transformation, a twist. I feel, so it is kind of feeling like, that's very interesting because this is also looking like stained glass to me. So that might be a symbol for you in some way. Because I feel like there is something that has been very stable for you, because the coagulation card talks about like things coming together, things becoming more solid, or mixed together, that kind of thing. Interesting, but how it's coming through here for you today, Aries, is like something suddenly coming together is how it's feeling. Like what I'm getting here with the this sort of stained glass imagery is that, or like tiles, right? Like what I'm seeing here is that what's suddenly coming together, it's like joining all of these components is how it's feeling. And it's like coming through as grout, right? Like using grout or in stained glass, right? Like soldering the pieces of glass together so that it's a unified piece. That's what I'm getting for you. The Uranus energy is like the grout, the thing that holds everything together. Like, so something becoming more solid suddenly is the energy that I'm getting for you, which is very interesting. Because it almost feels like there has been a time for you where it's like with the stained glass, or with like if you're laying tiles or whatever, or like this mosaic kind of energy where it's like you've been a long time in this period of laying the tiles down. So each individual piece contributing to an overall whole, but it's not whole yet. It's sort of like this like a backsplash or like a mural, or this like bigger picture that's made up of a bunch of little components have been put in place, right? Like it's like all these little tiles have been put in place, but the grout hasn't been laid down yet. So until the grout has been laid, it's still sort of like a bunch of tiny little pieces, if that makes sense. And and then the grout being laid makes it that unified whole. So I feel like there is something here where it's like something finally coming together. I just got a really interesting download as I was saying that. There was this memoir a few years ago. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember the author name because it's not relevant, but there was a very popular memoir, and it's important that it is labeled as a memoir, where this man wrote a memoir about himself, and it got really popular. I think Oprah like endorsed it. It was on her like book club or whatever. And then it came out that he lied about it, that he made up the stories that were in his memoir. And so it got rebranded as a fiction novel. But I think there's something here, but it's interesting, Aries, that I feel like there's something here about that in terms of like maybe somebody lied to you is how it's coming through, and maybe you believed the lies. And so once the lies are removed, right, like the untruths are removed, it's like this huge weight being lifted off of you. And I feel like there's something here where it completes a picture for you. I don't know this, and it could, this doesn't have, like, I don't want to make anyone paranoid here. It could be like a very small instance of, whatever. It could be a greater thing. It could just be a misunderstanding, or something that you believe to be true that is coming through as being burdens, being, I don't know, clarified is how it's feeling. And there's something about like getting the full picture, or like solidifying a big picture thing. But there may be something here about like you already intuitively maybe got the bits and pieces of it. But it's like finally putting everything together is how it's coming through for you, Aries. Yeah, I feel like your physical environment is being highlighted because you also have blood. Interesting. Blood and sulfur at the bottom of the deck. And the resin card underneath that. So red is very clearly an important color for you. We are in Taurus season now. Resin to me represents Taurus. And you have glass underneath that. This is all at the bottom of the deck. I do feel like there's something a little bit uncomfortable about this process. But it's... the end result will be worth it, is how it's coming through, Aries. Going back to that story of like somebody lying about their memoir, it could be something where it's just like someone was putting on a brave face or that kind of thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be malicious, right? Like not it doesn't have to be like a malicious intent to lie to you, Aries. It's more so feeling kind of like it's giving me this vibe of like someone who is pretending to be very happy and chipper when really they're going through a really tough emotional time, right? Like something like that, right? That's how it's coming through. And for some reason that is giving you clarity. Maybe this someone's being honest with you about how they truly feel or something like that. I do feel like you're getting clarity about something. About this person's pain. Or it could be yours, Aries. Just take it how it resonates. But it's again, feeling like this energy of like, I don't know why it's coming through like this. Like somebody telling you that they're like happy and fulfilled, and like every time you have this interaction with them, that's another coin in the phone, right? It's another weight that is being added to your plate, because it's almost like somebody's not being honest about how they feel. And on some level you can sense that, but you are also not necessarily going to call them out on that, right? Like if someone tells you they're fine every time you ask them how they're doing, it's kind of like there was a boundary there for you, like, or with them, like you ask them how they're doing, they say they're fine. That's one more coin on the end of this phone. And but I feel like that dishonesty on some level was causing a burden to you or was perhaps hurting you in some way, because especially if it's somebody that you care about, where it's like they tell you they're fine when they're not. And it's almost like there's something coming through here where it's like this person, you ask them how they're doing, and instead of saying they're fine, they actually tell you how they're feeling. And it is coming through as a bit of like a shock, because I feel like it's removing the lies, right? And lies, again, sounds like a very strong word. It could, like, a strong way of phrasing it, but it could be that they weren't telling you the full truth, or that they were saying, I'm fine, when they're not, right? Like that kind of thing. And so when they actually tell you the truth, it feels like this, like, breath of relief, almost. Because it's like you're not trying to figure out if that's true or not. It's like this feels true. That's how it's coming through. I don't know what this is. And you have the frog at the bottom of the deck. I don't know what this is for you, Aries. I'm going to pull an animal card for you, though. It does feel like a rebalancing. It's a balancing of something. Can I get a card for Aries, please? Golden egg. That's the heart chakra. The scorpion. And the fire ant at the bottom of the deck. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, there is something uncomfortable about this. Maybe this is your energy as well, Aries. Maybe you are the one who's saying that you're fine when you're not. Or, like, maybe you are experiencing pain of some sort with the scorpion and trying to push through it is also what's coming through with that. Maybe there's something that you are creating. Because I am getting this sort of like, of course with the golden egg, but also with the coagulation, and we are in Taurus season. There's something about like nesting and security that are really coming through here, or like comfort, home, safety and security again. But specifically this energy of like a nest. Because why do birds make nests? Is to lay their eggs, right? This is something for you, Aries, where it's like, okay, so if it's not this example of like somebody else telling you the story of like, whatever, I'm fine, blah, blah, blah. That's just an example. But it could also come through this energy of like, maybe you have been receiving signs, receiving clues, like a bird would collect bits of twigs and moss and that to create their nest, right? It's like you're laying these little pieces down on this mosaic. You're putting the little tiles in place, creating something. But it's almost like you can't see the full picture until it's been grouted, right? Like that's how it's feeling, because the grout is coming through as being something that ties everything together, that creates a whole, like a unified piece. But there's something about that feels uncomfortable. Like seeing the full picture makes you uncomfortable because it's like it's coming through as the fire ant, like all of these and you have the octopus underneath that. It's like not seeing it could have something to do with pain. With the scorpion. Or wound. Again. Or somebody else's wound, right? Like not realizing that that someone that you care about was going through such a difficult time, right? Like that could be very uncomfortable. It's like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that? Like, why didn't you tell me you were suffering? Like that kind of energy. That's how it's feeling. So the whole picture, the complete picture brings clarity, but also pain is how it's feeling. You have Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. Of course, the Ram represents Aries. And then you have Rose. Romance is in the air. So again, this could be like someone that you're interested in. Scales. Yeah, keep your life in balance. I am getting like, so it could be because it's coming through with Libra energy with the scales. It does feel like it has something to do with relationships for you, Aries. That's what I'm getting very strongly. But I do feel like up until this point, the scales have been unbalanced is how it's feeling. Like either, like, again, it's like, I'm just seeing all these like coins being put in one of these baskets, right? Because now I'm getting something like a wish or like a wishing well. Something has been unbalanced. It's also kind of feeling like it. So with the scorpion, sometimes that comes through as someone being triggered. It can also talk about someone who's very passionate, and because they're passionate, they can, it can also come through with aggression here, or they're like so motivated, they sort of like push through things, sometimes at the expense of other people. It doesn't necessarily have to be that, but it's kind of giving me this like all or nothing kind of energy. But I do feel like something is balancing out. It feels like it was unbalanced here, especially with the fire ant and the octopus. I'm kind of getting this vibe of like someone who like doesn't volunteer a lot of information. Like, so perhaps you know them as being very quiet, or again, every time you ask them how they're doing, they say I'm fine. And then all of a sudden there's this like change. It's like the next time you ask them, how are you doing? There's almost like this like huge response or energy, or like almost like a confession, but not. So something like that, right? A rebalancing of something, like an all or nothing, like a nothing turning into an all. That's how it's feeling. Interesting. The rat, someone working against you behind your back. The club, someone will try to make you do something against your will. And the door, opportunities are waiting for you. Again, this feels like whatever's being removed. You have the valley at the bottom of the deck. Deep personal strength and peace that assure success. Okay, so for some of you, this may be a scenario where someone was giving you nothing, is how it's going through, whatever that means. In some cases, this may be something like work related, right? Like maybe there was someone who was like withholding something from you, or like in a work context, like, I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with certain opportunities, like they weren't giving you opportunities that would have benefited you, or that kind of thing. And again, it could have been coming from a place of pain, where this person was placing pain on you, or trying to make you responsible for something that is not your responsibility, right? Like that kind of thing. That's like sort of like the worst case scenario, or like a negative way in which this may play out for you. Someone who was working against you was putting a negative responsibility on you, or that kind of thing. Keeping opportunities from you if they have that power, like that kind of like nothing, withholding, that kind of thing. And that weight is what's being removed from you. And so in a sense, there's this sort of like removal of the burden that you were carrying, the scales being rebalanced, and you being able to move forward. Suddenly, the grout being filled in to create this whole picture. Again, it does feel like something that you were pushing hard against is how it's coming through. Like, I'm getting this image of like, maybe you're butting heads with someone, right? Like butting heads with someone, Aries. And then suddenly that person stops pushing back at you. So it's kind of like you move forward all of a sudden. That kind of thing. So just be conscious about that. Maybe there was something like that for you, like some sort of like butting heads moment, or that you were pushing against something. And now that that is being removed, there's momentum. You have 9 of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. High Priestess. So there's more Taurus energy coming in here. And then the Hierophant and 8 of Wands, which again, more Taurus energy, Taurus season that we're in. So this could relate to you in Taurus season in particular, or there's Taurus energy around somewhere or influencing this. And the 9 of Cups. Three of Pentacles. Justice. And the 6 of Cups. Okay, so you have a Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So lots of Pentacles energy. You have the Scales out here twice with Justice. So for some of you, it could be work related. Doesn't have to be. But it does have some sort of material consequence or physical consequence. I feel like there's something here where it was... this Three of Pentacles to me in this deck specifically talks about like waiting on a collaboration that doesn't have like is disappointing or is unfair in that it feels like you're doing a lot of the work where you're not necessarily collaborating with others, where it's like you're in a group project but you're carrying the majority of the burden, right? Like that's how it's feeling, which relates to the rest of this message. I feel like maybe you're this maybe talking about a dynamic where there wasn't as much collaboration or balance as you expected there to be, or that like again, and it feels kind of like for you Aries. It's interesting, though, that the message came through with, like, you didn't necessarily see this as a burden. I don't know. Maybe there is something like, maybe there is some sort of negative energy around you here at the Rat where it's saying, like I'm just getting this image of like someone at work, in a work environment, for example, where you were doing most of the work or whatever it is in a certain context. You were carrying the burdens, or you were doing maybe the jobs that no one else wanted to do, right? Like that kind of thing. The most difficult, the most laborious, the most burdensome, right? But it kind of feels like not that you were happy to do it, but that you did it without complaint, like that kind of thing. And now it's like there's something being corrected in that where you're no longer responsible for carrying those things by yourself. And there's more balance coming through with that. So that's the energy that's coming through. And I feel like there is this sort of realization here where you are realizing that this happened, that maybe you were taken advantage of, or maybe people were putting all this burden and expectation on you unfairly, knowingly, like they knowingly put this on you. And the picture of that is becoming clear now. But I feel like for you, Aries, you're coming out much stronger, or in a position of authority in this case, because of how well you carried it, or something like that. I do feel like there is an opportunity here for you because of that. Very interesting. I do feel like there is something here where you're waiting on the grout to dry is how it's feeling. Like, because I feel, so it could be the part of the process where, like when you lay tiles, the grout sort of covers the tiles, right? And then you have to wipe the grout away. Like what I'm seeing is that's sort of the process that you're in. You're wiping the grout away, the excess grout. So you're almost at the end of some sort of process is how that's feeling. I feel like you've gained some sort of clarity and wisdom through this process. Okay, Aries, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.